Hello, and welcome back to the live show. First one of the year, 2023. Thanks for joining here. Let me know in the chat if you can see and hear me just fine. If not, then I will do my best to keep up with the chat and fix it. If you got any questions as well, be sure to tag here to record in them so that I can see them extra clear on my screen here. That'll help me a lot as we go through the live show. This is a new time as well. First Monday of the year, I thought I would kick things off with a new time for the live show. We'll see how it goes. It's 4 in the afternoon my time today, which is a little bit better for me to do live streams instead of 7, which was my original time. I brought it back a few hours, or forward. I always forget which way. Forward a few hours. So I'm here to try and make it work into my day-to-day schedule just a little bit better. And I think this time will work out a lot better for me. So I'll test it over January at this time every week, and then we'll see how it goes and go from there. So let's get into it. Thanks so much for joining in here. A few familiar faces coming in from the chat. Lewis, good to see you from Lisbon. A Happy New Year here from Rob, NYC. We have IT Never Gets Old. It's nice to see a lot of familiar faces here in the chat since I've changed the time today, which is always good to see people still able to join. Hello from Canada and Trinidad as well. Hungary, apologies, I'm missing a few here. Randy, nice to have you here nice and early on your morning as well. Looks and sounds great, which is always good to hear. I'm going to answer a question or two before we kick things off into the main show today. A question coming in here from Andrew. Are you still using BirdDog PTZ camera? I am using one, which was that opening shot. If you're watching live, you will have seen this opening shot here, which is a BirdDog PTZ camera, and it's out of focus right now. And then I can adjust it a little bit. I have the little remote control here, so I'm just using it for that. And if you are watching live, you will have saw a pre-roll that I was trying out today. So I had a question here from Andrew and Morton as well. How did you make the pre-roll for the live stream? Those were done, you can just, in the YouTube live interface now, you can set a teaser or trailer for your live stream. So before the show kicked off, I sat here and I recorded a little intro. And I also was testing out a new feature in H2R graphics, which I'm calling, what am I calling it again? Now, Next, Then, which lets me set up 3 little cards. So I just pressed record and I recorded a little introduction, and I showed you this graphic, which is coming soon to H2R graphics, not out yet, which goes through 3 sections of whatever you want to put in there, a picture, a title, and then a subheading. So that's what you're looking at here. And I just recorded that, put it on YouTube unlisted, and then set it up as a trailer for the live stream. I'll try to do that on all the live streams because it was quite fun to make. We'll see if I'm able to do that every time, but it took like a minute to record, and then I chopped it down to 20 seconds. Anyway, today's show is not about me rambling. It's about Stage Timer and all the fun stuff that Lukas has been up to over on Stage Timer. Let me see if I have all the connections right here. I'm hoping that I can go to my super source and show Lukas up here. Welcome, Lukas. Thanks for joining. Hello.
Hey,
I just realized something.
Thanks, John. Nice to have me.
I don't have my headphones on, so I'm going to turn up my speaker a little bit while I work on that. While you tell us, Lukas, where are you joining from today and how things are going?
Yeah, hello. I'm actually joining from Chiang Mai in Thailand. So I'm actually originally from Germany. We live in the south, close to Jonas, if you've seen him before here on the stream. And we do a little bit of a workation travel tour around the world. And right now I'm in Thailand. So hence the kind of potato cam quality and my very minimal setup. Thank you for having me, John, on the stream here. And what I've been up to is, so I'm working on this tool, right, called Stage Timer, for over 2 years now. And one of the features I just recently finished is that you can download it and use it offline, right? Which is, John, you have your own tools, and you have a tool called H2R graphics, which is all about that, right? You download it, you start it locally, and you can use it, and it works nicely. Now, for Stage Timer, this was quite hard to do, and I can tell a bit about that later.
Yeah, you can. Okay, I'm back. That was funny. Before I introduced you there, I just looked over and I saw that my headphones were sitting on the table, and because we were doing the pre-show and just hanging out, and I was listening to everybody on the loudspeaker, and then I totally forgot as the show started to put in my headphones. But now I have my headphones in, and I can hear you again, which is great. Yeah, so Stage Timer is what you're all about, and we'll talk mostly about the downloadable version today. But for anyone who's not familiar with Stage Timer, which I'm sure there are a few people out there, what is it all about? Why did you make it? What did you make? Tell us just a little bit about that first.
Yeah, let me tell the story why I made it, right? So I was in this studio that a friend of mine has, and he does recordings, and he sits in this room, right, and has his switches there and stuff, and the other person is in the other room and talks about some online course that they're recording, and he has this timer which runs on an old laptop, and in order to start it, like, he gets up, goes into the other room, clicks on start, runs back, starts the recording. So it's more or less in time, and then does his thing all remotely from the other room. And I thought that there has to be some kind of remote controlled solution for this problem. It cannot just be that you have to run into the other room, click on start, run back. So I looked online. Surely somebody did some online tool, some cloud tool that you just open in the browser, you pop it up, you click start, and it sends the signal to the other computer.
Surely someone.
And surely someone has done it, right? But in my mind, it was, this. You can code this up in a weekend. Surely somebody did it. So nobody did it, or at least nobody that I found in my 20 minutes of Google search. So I said, no, why not do it myself? So I coded up in a weekend as kind of a side project, because I love coding, I love programming, and put it on Reddit and say, hey guys, I did this for my friend, but maybe you can use it too. And people really liked it and gave me tons of suggestions. It should do this, and it should support this feature and that feature and be programmable and have like several presets that you can use. So I thought, man, people are really interested. I was not expecting that much of a feedback. So I went ahead and coded in many of these features, put it online, eventually added a paid version that has a few more features. So it makes sense for me to continue working on it, and it grew more than I thought. Hence, I have finished or quit my job with the startup I was working at, and doing this full time. And what it is, as I kind of explained, right, an online timer. You saw the interface there. John kind of put it on the screen.
Let's look at it again.
And what you do is you put your presets, right? You put like the steps of your show. You say how long are they? Sandra over here is on stage and has like 30 minutes for this program point, and then there's a 5-minute break, and then there's a panel discussion and so on. And click on start, and it shows up in this, as you see on the top left, this window. Now this window you can pop it out, right? You can now John is zooming in, but you get a link dedicated to this window, so you can open it full screen, can make it even like completely full screen on any computer, and I made it in such a way that the text scales. So if you open it on your phone, if you open it on a gigantic widescreen TV, you open it on your computer, it always looks right. And that's all it is.
Yeah, that's all it is. Simple as that. So I'm surprised it took you so long to make it, because it's so easy and simple, right? But simple. Timing is a rabbit hole. I mean, I have some timers in H2R graphics, and my mind explodes doing that locally. So doing this over the internet on all sorts of devices is no small task, right?
Yeah, there's tons of funny stories. One was shortly after I built this, people complained like, why is it 2 minutes off on the other computer, and here's it 1 minute off? I was like, why is it off? And then I found out, well, people's computer clocks go very differently from one another. And I thought, it's maybe a second, but no, it's like up to 2, 3, 10 minutes that these clocks differ. So I had to find a way to sync it all up from the server. Basically, the server tells the computer, hey, your clock is off like 2 seconds. Please correct for that.
Oh, cool.
And it does it. Yeah.
That's great. I get that question too in H2R graphics, and so I should steal some of your wonderful code to make that work. So anyway, that's stagetimer.io, and we've talked about it in the past on this channel. I've made a video about it, I think, and I know many people in the Discord use it for all sorts of stuff. I see it again and again. It's become as much as it's a cool tool still, it's also just a tool that's an obvious tool almost. I feel like when I first saw it, it was
Yeah.
like this is great. I really want to use that for everything, and now I don't even think about it anymore. Someone says timer. I've already opened stagetimer.io and I'm already using it. So that's great. But then today's discussion mostly is about getting it offline, right? So you've spent all this time making it work
Right.
online, and which is a huge feat of its own. And then you want to make an offline version of it, which you have done over the last few months, maybe, or has it been like a long
Yeah.
time coming? This piece of work.
Long time coming. I mean, people have been telling me, right? Can I install it offline? Or I am behind a firewall in my corporate network, and I can't use it online. Or I am in this remote location on a festival grounds, and they don't have internet. Or I'm like in a conference center, and we all know conference center. Either the internet costs like $200 per hour, or it just doesn't work at all, and it's completely unreliable. So I say, can we have an offline version?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, offline version, do I really have to do this? So I just avoided, right? I avoided the topic, but eventually it was time to build it. And it turns out it is not easy to take something that is for the web and put it on an offline version. You can, maybe some of you use tools like Photoshop, right? And you think, why don't look at Figma, right? They put it online, it works perfectly. Why don't they just take Photoshop, put it online? Well, as hard as it is to take something that's offline and put it on like a environment in the cloud where many people can use it at the same time. The reverse is just as difficult.
For sure.
What do you do with the database? What do you do with this? What do you do with all these technical problems? So it took me a while to solve all that, get it all kind of simplified down on your local computer, so it just works without. And I done it. It works completely without internet. So you can like take your computer offline, and it just keeps rolling, and you can connect it to a local network. And very similar to Companion. You probably use some of you use the Companion app, which lets you start on an IP address, right? You can even select the IP address. You can say 000 or like your Wi-Fi IP, and you can do the same with Stage Timer. It actually, I literally copy pasted the code from Companion that
Cheeky.
scans the network and selects the IP and change it a bit.
Yeah,
so it looks even the same, right? So
let's launch into that a little bit then, since we may as well show it rather than chit-chatting about it. So what you've basically done, which you can see here, is I've downloaded the app onto my Mac here, and it is the interface to sort of get started with stage time, or with rooms, right? So once we create a room from here and I open up this room, you can see it looks just the same as it did before, but I'm now on my local IP address as opposed to a stagetimer.io website, which I was on before. And now from here, I don't think there's much to say other than it works just as well as it did before, right? It's just all happening locally now. And if I was to go off my internet and not be connected to the outside world, I could connect to this via the local network over the same IP address and do all of the same stuff as online. Is there anything in there that you haven't quite added yet and want to add, or is it basically the same as the online
It's feature complete.
Great.
It's feature complete, and I may repeat myself. It was hard, but like you can upload images, you can schedule stuff, you can link timers together, and they automatically start right one after the other. So everything, even the API, like there's a public an API. That you can use, for example, with Companion to trigger things,
right?
Works in the offline version exactly the same way.
Great. So it is. You can expect all the features to be found here, and I am also aware that if you were to make a change on your web version in the next month or so, that it would be in the future downloadable version as well, because you've sort of made your pipeline pretty smart so that you can release the both at the same time, right?
Yeah, it uses the same computer code for both versions. So if I code one, I think for the web version, it will automatically be available offline as well.
Great. Just to go back a step, because I already downloaded it here, but I'm on stagetimer.io and I'm logged into my profile. You can see I'm a happy paying customer here, but whether you are or not, you can still jump into your profile and download it for Mac OS, M1, Intel, or Windows as well. And just like the online version, if you haven't played with that before, you get, I would say, a pretty nice free get you started sort of a lot of the features that you'd want, all of the timers and a few limits here and there, but nothing that wouldn't get you started right away. And then just like the online version, the offline version has the ability to go pro and get paid features, right? So I have over here on my downloaded version, I'm on the free version right now because I have not installed the or added the license key yet. But I can make 3 rooms, I can add a certain amount of things to each room, a certain amount of timers, and then from there, how do I get more stuff, and how have you sort of bracketed things between the free version and a paid pro version?
Right. So the main difference is probably how many devices you can connect. Right. So you get this link that gives you this full screen timer. You get a few other links. You get like an agenda. You get also something for moderators where they can just take care of the messages, of the messaging towards the presenter on stage, and cannot meddle with the time at all. So you get these different pages that you can send around as a hot link. And depending how many people connect with these links, you get a limit, right? On the free version, the limit is 3, and then you get a professional version, and the limit is 10, and then you get a premium version, and then the limit is 100. And this is simply because it uses server resources to do so. And then another limitation is that kind of let's say the features that you would use professionally, like add your own logo, choose your own colors, your own backgrounds, like upload a CSV file. So if you have something on Google Sheets where your show is all laid out, you can upload that to Stage Timer, and it will scan it and automatically import all the steps. So if you want to have access to that, you need a license.
Precisely.
That's kind of how I made the payment out.
So I'm just in the in my paid online version right now. You can see here that I can do things like hide the Stage Timer logo and customize all the stuff I wanted. In fact, someone asked a question there. Let me just see if I can pull that question up real quick. They said, on traditional limit timers, there are stop lights. You can change the background color when it hits a certain time, question mark. And in your case, Lucas, Stage Timer here, you have the sort of progress, the notion of progress, where you can have a green, and by default, green, amber, and red sort of stoplight style, which is updating this bottom bar here on progress, right? Do you have any other? Does the text changes color too, right?
Exactly. So you can change these progress colors. You can, by like on a per timer basis, even change like how long they are. Like, is it 1 minute orange and then 15 seconds red, or something else? And then it will change the color of the time accordingly.
Yeah, I'm attempting to do it here live. Okay, here we go. This is an old project. We actually, you'll find a quote from me. Before, me and Lucas, obviously, we know each other quite well now after the last, 6 to 7, 8 months we've been working on stuff together. But before that, we didn't know each other that well. And I was using Stage Timer to run all the clocks for our Stream Day live event last year. And I sent you a message the next day saying, like, we couldn't have done it without this. And I think that quote's still on the website now. That was definitely a quote before we became very friendly. That was more of a acquaintances abstract quote there, and now it seems like it's a planted quote because we know each other quite well. But it was very valid. Yeah. We would have struggled to do our stream without this, and you can see in here I have all my timers I had set up to be running on these times by default here, so I didn't actually have to press anything. It all happened 5,325 hours ago.
Yeah. You have to delete the date from that timestamp.
Exactly.
And you, on top of the color changes, you can let it flash, right? You can say it should like flash 3 times when a certain milestone is reached. Or you can even let it make a chime.
That's right. There are some. I don't think I've ever actually looked into that before. The chime options, where are they at? In settings here. So you call it wrap up times and actions as your sort of terms for it. And when it's 1 minute to go, I want to have a chime of have a beep or a gong or something. That's nice. So you could do that. Oh, and have it flash infinitely if you want. So that's nice.
It can just keep flashing, right? Like after it reaches 0, it can just keep flashing.
Exactly. So like we said
So
before,
hopefully
then
the person on stage will eventually look
I've
and see that
definitely
their time is up.
I've had a few times where I've had to aggressively flash the timers, and people have said, you hear them on the live stream saying, "Oh, I better stop now because this screen is freaking out here." So it really helps to have those options in there. Like you said here. So what I could do is I could set this up to be only my local computer, and
Yeah.
if someone else is connected to my network, they wouldn't actually get access to my timers. I mean, obviously, it would be quite complicated for them to find my IP address and find the right port and then find what timers I was running. But in general, I would say whenever you're doing production stuff, you really should have a locked off network anyway. So in that case, I could just set it up for my local network here. I'm running wireless on this laptop right now, and then any other computer on the network could go to this IP address / or port and find my timers, which I could also just send them the links to the timers and stuff like that. I know a few people that I've worked with in the past definitely have used. I've seen a lot of timer apps, of course, and stage timer.io's definitely come up, and in those cases, the reason not to use it, unfortunately, was because these laptops cannot be connected to the internet because they don't want, Windows to automatically update or PowerPoint to accidentally move to the next version and between the setup day and the show day. So it is super important in many circumstances to keep all of that stuff locked in and online and stuff. So pretty important.
We literally had like a government institution invite us over.
Oh wow!
And tell us like, look, we want to use your tool, but hey, we are in this network and they don't let us use any internet connection. And please give us an offline version.
Which we have now done, and it's working well. And we have some questions coming in here we should probably get to, unless there was anything else we should chat about on the offline version. I feel like we barely touched the offline version, but I know that it's so like it's just so similar to the online that it just makes sense, but it's offline, right?
Yeah. Before we go to the question, let me just say, like, if you so you can download it, can use it. Free features are all there. If you need the paid features, in the future you will just be able to generate your own license key. Right now, just for the sake of getting it deployed, getting it out there, I made it so you have to email us and we generate a license key for you.
Exactly. I should.
So the email's right there, right?
You're right. Yeah. So in here you can go in and you can see there's a little note on the website saying like, send us an email if you want that license key when you're a paying customer, which is a good point.
Yeah, maybe you can demonstrate quickly because I sent you one, right? So you can.
Yes. I don't want to show it though, so I'll just go copy it and then where did I save that? I saved it somewhere. Oh yeah.
Right. You can show. If you copy it in, it will be cut off.
You're right. Okay, I've copied it to my clipboard and I'm going into the enter license key section. Okay, it's not going to show it all. Well, you can always give me a new one, worst case scenario, right? We'll see. So in the enter license key section here, I have my old one in here because we were doing some beta testing before to make sure it ran on lots of different computers, and I can paste in my new one, which I've done. And let's see, did you give me a valid? Oh, you did. Look how kind you are. It's a valid license key. So now I'm on the Pro version, and I can do as many rooms as I want with this nice big Pro logo here.
Absolutely.
Obnoxiously big Pro logo. I love it.
Yeah, it's a.
Don't worry about it. So now if I open up this room, I can have that full customization, which you couldn't see before. So now I'm on the local version, downloaded version, and I can customize it as I wish, which is lovely. It's small, but it's a nice thing to have to be able to just dial in some of these colors here. Like if this was my default and we're all working in a dark room, I really want to change to this. Or the opposite is true. Yeah. If we're outside somewhere, maybe it's nicer to change it up to something else, or maybe the customer can get a little bit of branding in there, add their logo instead of the stage timer logo. So good to have that kind of stuff. Okay, questions, yes? Here we go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, well, this is not a question, but thanks so much, Willix. New subscriber to the channel. Good content. I appreciate it. And Andre here, Just had to skip officers for you. Excellent. Good to have you here. Oh, and Nicholas, who I've worked with a few times in the past and we've chatted about before. Stage Timer locally is working great even with the beta super solution. That's right. It's in beta right now, but it's, as far as I've heard, it's all working really well, which is great. Question.
Yeah, I had a let me say so.
Sure.
I had a testing phase on your Discord, right? I asked people to test it. It was really great. I got feedback. People tried it out. People gave me like bug reports, and I fixed them.
Right.
So even though it's a beta, it should work quite well because bugs have already been fixed, and nobody has complained since. So either it's a bad sign or it's a good sign.
Exactly. People were refusing to use it again. No, I think a lot of the big things were sorted, and there's not much to complain about now other than just use it. Can Stage Timer, I know you mentioned this, but just to answer the question, can Stage Timer control be automated in Companion?
Yeah, so there is actually a official Companion module. If you look for my name, Lukas Herman, it's like Lukas Herman Stage Timer. You find it and you paste in your room ID and your API key, and it gives you the typical Companion options like start, stop, pause, next, previous. You can all do, and we can talk like in the future. I will improve that a little bit. We can pick that up later.
Sure. Let's see here. I already covered that one. Rob, who we both met at IBC this year, wants to know any updates on injecting real time code like LTC. I know he found us at IBC and he asked you that question. So any updates?
I have it on my list, on my long list of things to do. I have not forgotten about it.
That's a good answer.
I will say later about the future. There's a few things that are more important that will come up first, but it's there.
Cool. Excellent. At least it's still on your list, which is always good. Ryland here saying we do all of our internal stage timers through ProPresenter 7, which does well with Companion, but I'm always interested in learning about new options. Excellent. Thank you, Ryland. And Ivor also asking here, does this Companion work with the offline version, which we covered already? Ryland loves the progress bar.
Let me say one thing about that. It doesn't. The module doesn't give you the option to use the offline version URL, right? It only connects to the online version.
Got it.
But you can use the API as is, right? I have quite a comprehensive guide on the website how to just use the API directly with Companion. And you can just use the offline URL for those API requests, and it works just fine.
I see. That makes sense. Yes. Orbital wants to know, so the offline version is only for paying customers, correct? And I know that's not correct.
No, right? So you can download it and use the free features offline. It's fine.
Would I be right in saying that an offline version is only gettable by creating a free account? Would that be fair?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you sign in for a free account and you'll get the link to download it, use it with all the same features that you would for free on the web version. And then whenever you're ready to pay for features, you can pay once and get those paid features on the online version and the offline version.
Correct.
So, okay, I nailed it there. I can be on your marketing team today.
You are.
I am. Oh, that's true. Technically, that's true. Andrew wants to know, this is a great question, just to be extra clear, and I know this is on the website, but what are the current paid versions, and briefly, how do they differ from each other?
Yeah, if you want, you can open quickly
I will get that while you chat about it.
So the free version gives you really the core features and the tools that you need to time anything. But then it limits you to like three timer presets, 3 message presets, 3 people or 3 like device that can connect to a single room.
Got it.
And show the timer. And then the pro version kind of gives you what is really needed if you want to run a show, right? It gives you the unlimited rooms. It gives you, you can connect up to 10 devices. It gives you just unlimited like timers and stuff. The setup, right, comes unlimited. And then you can also access with the API, so you can use your Companion integration in other tools and other scripts. You can upload a custom logo. You can protect the links. which is also like an issue, right? Because you don't want to give the link to somebody and then they just like write controller in the address bar and then they have access to all the features.
100%.
So you can kind of protect that link and then people need a password to access that. And then the premium version is really intended for if you're more on a corporate level and you really need this full control over the visuals, or you have like a crazy big meeting and just need 100 devices that connect to the room, then you want to get this premium version.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and the event, I've heard so many people say how great this event option is. So you don't have to pay monthly or yearly for Stage Timer. Let's say you just use it like, for example, our Stream Day event that only happens once a year. My option here could be just to pay for that single event, and it gets me 10-day access for a really, I would say, extremely affordable one-time payment. So if I just pay $15 one time, and I could do that 9 days before the event starts, and I have full pro on my room, and I can do whatever I want.
Yeah. So the idea here was that if you run a show for a client and you just want to put everything into expense report, you get that event. You have like more than 1 week. So let's say it's on a weekend, right? You have another weekend to program and prepare everything if you need to.
Yeah.
And then you get a separate invoice for that event and can just slash it on to your client on the report.
Exactly. Yeah, that's great. More questions are coming in here, and it's already been half hour, so we're gonna cover these questions, and then we'll talk about future and wrap things up. Can you integrate Stage Timer into OBS Studio?
Yes, I actually have on the website. If you go to documentations, there is a page that shows how you can integrate a Stage Timer into OBS Studio. There's a few options. You can just grab the timer as itself and put it into OBS. There's also options that you can just grab the time only, or like the headline only, or you can say next up only, or you can just get a progress bar only, or you can get the message, right? You can just use the message feature. You can see here the screenshot where it's only the message feature that is being integrated into OBS.
That's right.
Or only the countdown.
Yeah, I really like that. So just pull that one segment out, because quite often what a lot of us do is take an output like the Stage Timer output we showed before and then crop away all of the garbage that we don't want in that shot or in that scene. But instead you can use those URL parameters there to say only show me the timer, and I'll only see the timer.
Yeah, and the cool thing, you don't need to do cropping, and you don't need to do any like color keying or anything like that. Because Stage Timer, there's like an option that says transparent background, and then you can it just works on top of your video input or anything that you have in OBS.
I love that. More questions here. Thanks, John Lucas, says Rob. It was nice chatting with you both. Question, can we use custom fonts in a corporate design environment? That's a good question.
So I added a few fonts already. And I had people ask me in the past, like, hey, can you add this font? We need this for our corporate client. And I just added it. So if you have a font that you need to have added, just email us, give us a font name or even just the font files that you have, and we integrate it. It's not, you cannot yet do it yourself, but no. we can do it for you quite quickly.
Yeah, I have it here so I'm on the paid version here, and I can go in and see in the styling options. Oh, it's quite small on this screen. So I assume that these would be fonts then people have asked for. Can we get IndieFlower in there? And you would have added that.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Like the DSEC7 was one, like the 7 segments display that they wanted.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that one. Oh, that's nice. That's a very classic look. Let's wrap up with the last few questions here. Okay, one last question from Mark saying, is there a chat option to talk back with people connected?
So this is something actually on the list. I've been thinking about this a lot, right? But it's not yet integrated. Not because it's technically difficult, just because I don't know yet exactly how to put it into the interface. It's so complex, the interface already. I have to think about how to integrate the design, but it will come.
Yeah, there's not much space. There's not much space left to fill, right? So you have to be very smart about what else you put in there. Okay, we have one last question that snuck in here. Ivor says, is it possible to run the offline version as a service on Windows Server?
Not as a service. It's a regular program that you have to start. But you can just minimize it and have it run in the background.
Got it. Okay. Before we wrap things up, I know we're 5 minutes over here, but I want to know what people can expect maybe if you keep on working on this, which I know you are, since you mentioned at the start of the show that this is your, like, one of your main focuses in your day-to-day job. It is your day-to-day job. I think that's fair to say. All the fun stuff that we do on the side is really your side projects, right?
Exactly.
What can we expect in the next few weeks, months, year for Stage Timer?
Yeah, so the absolute next one that's coming is an improvement of the API. So right now, I have this philosophy to push out updates and say, let them be incomplete, but at least let them be available. So the API is one of these. You can start, you can stop, you can do, iterate to the next timer, go to the previous one. But what you cannot yet do is get the current status. What is the current time? What is the next element? What is the message that is shown? So the next iteration of the API will allow you to get this information back through an API request, through an HTTP request. And then consequently, the companion integration will be updated. So when you push your button, it will actually give you feedback, right? It will show you this is currently active, or this is the current countdown, or this is a current message, or you can even have the messages displayed in your little buttons and then click on the message that you want to show. So these kind of things will be possible with the next iteration of the API.
Very cool. And where would people, stick around? Where's the best place, do you think, still, if people want to keep up to date with the project and see what's new, maybe even suggest ideas, like where should they go to?
So I'm on John's Discord server, and there's a channel for Stage Timer, and I'm reading all the messages that go in there. Other than that, send us an email, and when you're on our website and you sign up for an account, it will ask you if you want to be part of the updates email list that we have, and then I'll send you an email with the latest updates when they come out.
Very cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thanks for tuning into the live show, even though it's getting late your time, I would say. Good to have you here. I hope we can get you back again to talk not only about Stage Timer, as much as I like to talk about that, but we can talk about Dashmaster and our fun projects together too. So, I look forward to it. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Cool. And thanks all of you for watching along today. We're going to head over to the members only post show, which can be found, there's a Zoom link on the the community tab on YouTube, where you can grab the link to the Zoom call. You can jump in there. We do that before and after the live show every single week, and just become a member by joining the channel, and then you'll find a link there, and you can join us and chit chat some more with Lukas or with whoever else is in the call right now. I forget who's there because I had to finish it and come in here and do the show instead, but I'll see you over there, I hope. Thanks as always for all of the support on the channel. I appreciate it a lot going into 2023, especially from Jeremy from Revolutionary Lightboards, Marlon, and Jim at Cloud Bedrock, and all of you for being here as well. Of course, this is my full-time job as well, doing these fun things, so hopefully I can continue to do that this year. All right, I'll see you in the members only Zoom call over there. Bye.